Internationally this morning, the latest in the war in Gaza and U.S. President Donald Trump's peace proposal. Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have made it clear the next big decision rests with Hamas.
If Hamas rejects your plan, Mr. President, or if they supposedly accept it and then basically do everything to counter it, then Israel will finish the job by itself.
Israel would have my full backing to finish the job of destroying the threat of Hamas, but I hope that we're going to have a deal for peace.
Trump's proposal is outlined in 20 points, one less than the 21 widely reported ahead of the meeting yesterday at the White House. The plan includes the return of hostages held in Gaza and the release of Palestinian prisoners and detainees. Hamas would disarm and accept no future role in governing Gaza. Among the other points, Israeli troops would withdraw by degrees, but Israel would also maintain a security perimeter. And what the proposal calls an international board of peace would be chaired by Trump and would oversee Gaza's transition and rebuilding. Our senior correspondent, Sasha Petrusik, has been reporting on this, and he is live with us again to begin our coverage today from Jerusalem. Why don't we start with next steps, Sasha, in all of this? Any word yet from Hamas, and what do we watch for now?
Well, Heather, there has not been a word from Hamas except to say that they are studying the proposal. And there's much in it which they might want to reject. These are elements which have been in previous proposals that they have rejected. And certainly these are things that they would have trouble swallowing. For instance, this deal calls for the hostages to be released immediately, within 72 hours of it going into effect. But Israel's troops would only pull out of Gaza by degree and over a much longer period of time, which with many opportunities to delay or to change the rules based on interpretations of whether or not certain conditions have been met. Also, there is a lot of questioning in Gaza itself over whether there would be enough of a role, enough of a say for Palestinians themselves. This administration that would come in afterwards is mostly international. Israel would also have a say, but Palestinians would have a relatively minor one, at least initially, and many Palestinians in Gaza are worried that this really means that they are being sidelined in a deal that has been agreed to by Arab states and Israel and the United States, but not necessarily them, even if Hamas is being now asked to sign on the line. This is what Gazans had to say today.
هذه تفويض لكل حقوق الشعب الفلسطيني وإنهاء القضية الفلسطينية والقضاء على الشعب الفلسطيني في نفس الوقت ومن تبقى من الشعب الفلسطيني إذا سلموا الأسرى مرة واحدة بعوض علينا الله. إحنا عالم انتهينا على آخر بطل لنا حياة. بعدين قصة تسليم الأسرى بكفي إنهم يحتلوا غزة. ترامب قاعد بخطط هالقيت كيف بده ياخذ غزة يفتح فيها منتجعات مناطق سياحية.
Now, in terms of a Palestinian state, which has also been a key issue here for many countries in the West, as well as obviously in Gaza and in the occupied West Bank, for Palestinians overall, that is mentioned in these documents. And in fact, it is one of the things that has been listed and a commitment that's been made by Trump to Arab leaders in particular, that there will be a credible path to a Palestinian state. However, as soon as that news conference was over yesterday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu went on TikTok to say that absolutely not, there will not be a Palestinian state. So a lot of things are up in the air and a lot is open to interpretation. Heather?
In terms of reaction inside Israel, Sasha, what have you seen so far from both Israelis and from the parties within Netanyahu's governing coalition?
This is a place where there's been a lot of polarization. Most Israelis do want the war to end. There are others who adamantly want it to continue. These are hardline members of Netanyahu's cabinet, these far-right parties, settler parties, those kind of groups who have said this is a historic opportunity for things to continue, and that if they don't, that Israel could end up in tears. However, there does seem to be a situation today where those fault lines between them and the vast majority that want the war to end and the hostages to come home, that those fault lines are fading. This is the kind of thing that we heard today in Jerusalem from basically ordinary Israelis as they watch those handshakes and those news conferences out of Washington.
Day for Israel. I don't see anyone from right to left who's going to go against it. It's the first time that I looked at all the points, and I didn't see anything that I don't agree with.
Hamas is going to have to take this deal. Am I optimistic about them? No, because we're dealing with terrorists. But when push comes to shove and you see the backing that Israel has in the final ultimatum, they really don't have a choice. It's do or die.
I feel that whatever happens, we absolutely need to end the war and to bring the hostages home. I think this should have been done 2 years ago. I think we've done it way, way, way too late with far too many deaths on both sides.
So this is the kind of thing that we are hearing. This is a war-weary country, as you can imagine. After 2 years of war, many younger people serving for many, many months out of that. People do want this to end. They do want the hostages to be returned, especially the 20 who are still believed to be alive. And they feel that this is the closest that they have come. They're looking toward Trump to force Netanyahu to do things that perhaps his coalition and maybe himself don't want to do, but that it is time to end this and to move on, even if this deal is not perhaps exactly perfect. Heather?
Sasha, thank you very much. Sasha Petrusek with The View from Jerusalem this morning, and we'll bring you international reaction to it as well. But just leading into that, here is what Canada has said so far in throwing its support behind the plan. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he welcomes the plan and urges all parties to help it realize its full potential. The Prime Minister went on social media to say, as a critical next step, Hamas must immediately release all hostages. Canada stands ready to support the sustained, unimpeded and large-scale delivery of humanitarian aid into and throughout Gaza. Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister, Anita Anand, also on social media welcoming the plan. She wrote, "This plan reflects Canada's long-held positions, including that Hamas must disarm, release all hostages, and have no role in the governance of Palestine, that there must be an immediate ceasefire with the unhindered flow of humanitarian aid through international organizations, and that Gaza must be demilitarized with no displacement of the Palestinian people." Let's bring Crystal Gomansing in. She's in London with more on what European leaders are saying. Crystal.
Good morning, Heather. Yeah, there's been a flurry of official statements and posts on social media by leaders on this side of the Atlantic. Let's go through some of them, starting here in the UK with Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who said that the U.S. initiative is profoundly welcome and that he is grateful for President Trump's leadership. He goes on to say, "We call on all sides to come together and work with the American administration to finalize this agreement and bring it into reality. Hamas should now agree to the plan and end the misery by laying down their arms and releasing all of the remaining hostages." French President Emmanuel Macron also posted a statement that up on X. He said that France stands ready to contribute and that it will remain vigilant regarding the commitments of each party. We also heard yesterday from Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. She posted on X part of her statement. Again, a very encouraged statement, positive that this deal is out there, and at least Israel and the U.S. have signed on to it. The Italian Prime Minister saying that the proposal presented today by the President of the United States, Donald Trump, could represent a turning point in this process. Italy, therefore, urges all parties to seize this opportunity and accept the plan. We've heard similar statements from leaders in Germany as well as Spain. And Heather, in terms of the larger bloc of the EU, we have heard from the European Union Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. She posted a very lengthy statement on X saying that she welcomed President Donald Trump's commitment to end the war in Gaza, encourages all parties to now seize this opportunity. The EU stands ready to contribute. She added to that statement saying that hostilities should end with provisions of immediate humanitarian relief to the population in Gaza and with all of the hostages released immediately. So the leaders are sounding hopeful and encouraged, but of course everyone is waiting to see that this plan will be fully accepted, implemented, and of course maintained. Heather.
Crystal, thank you very much. As well this morning, Chris Brown has an analysis piece online looking at what is in Donald Trump's 20-point ceasefire plan and why it contains many of the same potential pitfalls as previous plans. Read more on the story up on our website this morning or on the CBC News app.